can only get it into my head, if I can only get it into my head that you love me, yeah, you love me, yeah. If I can only outshine all the stars, if I can only outshine all the stars, would you keep me, yeah, you keep me, yeah.
How are ya?
It's all in my mind, I can tell myself.
Do you ditch?
It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. Better and more young. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. Better and more young. Better and more young. Better and more young. Watch me cook on this one.
Watch him cook, folks. Bunk bed coffin. Watch him cook.
If I can only get away from here, if I can only get away from here, would you love me?
How's it going? How are you? You okay? Big news. Elon might get pulled in front of Congress to get deposed. Amazing. What's up, Dusty? Good to see you. Epstein.
It's all in my mind, I can tell myself.
It's all in my mind, I can tell
myself.
It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. What a perfect song by Bunk Bed Coffin for today. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. How's all my paranoid people doing? Is the song triggering you? Thank you, Bunk Bed Coffin. That is If I Could by Bunk Bed Coffin. Jim Lynn Twisted. I'm doing well. How are you? The important question is, how are you doing? How are you? How's life on this floating rock that keeps spinning? Keep spinning, don't matter. Keep spinning. It's what you do while it's spinning that matters. I'm doing, all right, Jem, you sound like me. I got a couple of responses when people are like, how are you? I'm like, I am, or I am doing, maintaining. I know what that's like, Jem. I know what that's like. What's up, Large Taco? Good to see you. By the way, my other reverend in here, if you make music, hit me up in the Discord, homie. If you make music, send me some original stuff. Let me play it. Anyways, Dusty took a walk, went to the local cafe, feel better, Mexican food mart, discounted hummus. That sounds like a good afternoon to me. Good God. I am in between riotous and revolutionary. That's where I am, folks. Did he say righteous? No. Well, did I? I don't know. There's some crazy news, okay? There's a lot of crazy news. It all seems crazy nowadays. But there's some abnormal conspiracy theory-esque news out here about, let me just show you what I was looking at. I don't make much music these days. I don't have any room for a studio setup. That breaks my heart to hear, because we need you creating music. That is just the truth of the matter. He could borrow some of my stuff. I bet you make that sing. Man, well, I hope you find a little space, not only in your heart, but in your room, to make some music. Everybody should make music. Okay, now that I've said hello, and how are you okay, or are you doing? Most of America's just doing. I was reading this, was it PNC Bank report from the year 2025, or at the end of the year 2025. 6 out of 10 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Hurrah. And like 70% almost of employers and employees are worried about employee finances. Yeah, but everything's fine, folks. Everything's fine. So I was reading this Yahoo News. Depending on how old you are, you'll get that. And it turns out some of this stuff was drafted a day before it happened. Put on your conspiracy hats. We're going to dive into it. Not yet. I got other news to get to, but this is like the things that make you go, Things that make you go, Things that make you go, They should redo that song and say, things that make you go, huh? Definitely just doing. My partner's definitely just doing. We're doing better together. Sunshine Euphoria. Good to see you. Good to see you, sunshine. I always need a little sunshine. I was outside earlier and I said, God damn, it's a beautiful day. 27 degrees and the sun feels like 28. Good to see you, sunshine. Good to see everybody. What's up, President Reagan? So yeah, this is in the news. If you haven't covered it yet in your own daily news snogging, I'm assuming that's how the British say they cover the news, snogging, right? I don't know. They got funny words for all the slang. Love them, those mad lads across the pond. But there's a lot of theories floating around with this one. Like, how could you announce that he was a day before? Anybody got a theory on it? Is he in Israel? Has anybody checked Epstein Island? Is it really vacant? Is that the master plan once, America falls in line with the other countries and starts charging these people or investigating these people or stripping them of their royal titles? Can we strip Donald Trump of his royal title? Maybe that once America grows a backbone and a spine, what's up, Striker Van Kelly? How you doing? Maybe if America grows a spine, they were like, listen, if you don't know why this date is interesting, let me show you, because it doesn't match this one, okay? Just so we're all on the same page. This date from the immediate release, U.S. Attorney Office, declaring doesn't match this one. Now, I'm no mathologist, I'm no regular Will Hunting, but I can even tell 9 isn't 10. And I'd also just like to say to all the people in this article that are like, some are saying that the metadata, they just used the wrong letterhead. I'm pretty sure when you're drafting something this speculated upon, this high profile, you just check the dates. I mean, heck, I've had, very layman jobs where you write the wrong date and you go, hey, let me scribble that out. Whoops, mistake. So we're just going to head off the naysayers right at the pass. I'm guessing a lot of them, are defending the files. But just so we've gone over it, not the same dates. And we're going to hit more of it. The Epstein class is just that. They get away with all manner of ills. All manner. And the worst part is like they left the worst breadcrumb trail. It's like they weren't even making breadcrumbs. They were just chucking Ritz crackers on the ground going, they'll never find us. Like, that's a glaringly obvious one. And it's kind of disappointing because, you know, the one kind of um, redeeming trait, I would like to say, redeeming quality of maggots, MAGATS, was that they were like full on conspiracy heads, you know? And it's not that I think that redeems them in itself. But when I made videos on this. Dan Bagina, he went on Fox News and did a whole tirade against the FBI. And I was like, fucking yeah, dude. You talk about Fred Hampton? And he was like, I'm talking about January 6th. And I was like, weird. Oh, okay. But, you know, there's always a starting point. You got a long path. You got a long road to hoe, Dan Bagina. Um, but this is a good starting point, you know, when he's calling the FBI corrupt. And I'm like, never thought I'd see that on Fox News, but here we are. So it's not really like redeemable in a conspiracy theorist you want them on your team way, but it's like, you know, maybe if they keep digging, they might hit pay dirt. And now they're all like flatliners, you know, they're all like, there's nothing really to see here, boring. Pretty sure Bill Clinton's on it. I'm like, bet your sweet blue dress he's on it. Let's prosecute him too. They're like, oh, well, that's old news. Hardly interesting. Really? Okay. Thought you guys had, you know, Riz. Hold on. Nunya. He's not. They had plenty of time to get him out of the jail. Oh, Nunya. I got another whole article about how they wiped hard drives and replaced them. So we're gonna put on the sturdy tinfoil hat today. Hold on. Jose, Life on Mars. What's up, brother? Are you streaming from Boston? Grew up in Charlestown, now in Cali. Once a townie, always a townie. That is very true about townies. You can take the kid out of the town, but you can't take the townie out of the kid. Good to see you. Where North or SoCal? I lived in SoCal. Oh, Donica Trumpwinski. Old Donica Trumpwinski. That silly madam. Sunshine saying I'm starting to believe that he's possibly still alive. That's true, and it was never found or recovered. Yeah, so I'm guessing they, you know, probably busted him out to like go set up the new. They were like, so I'm guessing the whole plan was like, all right, Jeff, we're gonna crack you out of here. We're gonna wipe the hard drives, you know, say whatever. We're gonna take over Greenland. And do you know anything about snow jacuzzis? Do you know anything about starting a new island that's mostly ice? What are the possibilities of that? And I'm guessing, you know, that's been the fascination with that island. They need a new spot to go, man. And he's setting it up for them, you know, when they all escape, like the Nazis fleeing to Argentina. Adrenochrome drunkies. Man, isn't that mentioned in Fear and Loathing? The adrenochrome or whatever, where they're having a tough time in the hotel room. We've all been there, haven't we? Tinfoil hat on course right now. Do you all really think they were? That's insane. No, what's insane is you're like, there's plenty of proof, allegations, FBI documents, millions of pages, not to mention the videos that have been redacted and not shown, or the photos that have been redacted. But that, I would say, is the crazy take now. You know how last year we were all laughing at you because we were like, all right, stop obsessing. You know, when you were like worshiping the QAnon shaman and building a little, what do they call it? The table, the altar. You're building an altar to the QAnon shaman because you were like, please, please, dear shaman lord, let him get vegan food in prison. He is nothing but a softy at heart. We all play the alpha male role when we're out in public, but when we home, we like mommy's vegan dino nuggets. Yo, if in all my times going to jail, if my mom ever fucking made national news about like, my son has a certain diet, How do you keep your shaman title? I would like to interview the QAnon shaman. Is that what he is? And just be like, how do you keep that shaman title knowing that you're bitch made? You know, your mom had a fight for you to get yummy, yummy vegan food, which I'm not against. You know, that's a loving mother. But a shaman is his own entity. You know. Anyways, I think a few morticians have gone over the photos too. Yeah, you don't need to dig them up. I wouldn't. Oh, you got to dig up her video. Oh. Well, I went over one video that somebody was doing, and they were just like, "This is not this person." You know what I mean? Fun adrenochrome fact: epinephrine turns into adrenochrome when oxidized. Ooh, and how would you capture that when oxidized? Are we talking test tubes, or how are we? We need to rewrite the anarchist cookbook with modern advancements in technology. Jerky. Shane, are you referencing the Epstein files like I would know of? Do you think we will ever get justice? Well, I'll tell you what, this isn't blowing over. Let's just get into, I'll play some of the other news later. This isn't blowing over. This is House Oversight Democratic Rep Stansbury. They came out of the Maxwell deposition. Hold on, let me play you Maxwell. Okay, let me play you this tutti frutti, ripe and rancid. Here is the audio of her. Look at her. You don't look like you're procuring anything right now, do you? Even though she's living in the luxury of Club Fed. But here is her testimony. I'm not gonna, or deposition. Sorry, I'm not gonna play all of it because it gets repetitive. You'll see what I mean.
Ms. Maxwell, were you a close friend and confidant of Jeffrey Epstein?
I would like to answer your question, but on the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer this question and any related questions. My habeas petition is pending in the Southern District of New York. I therefore invoke my right to silence under the Fifth Amendment.
Oh, isn't that adorable? The Trump regime kept the Fifth Amendment for her. Isn't that cute? They violated the Fourth for us, the First for us, and trying to get rid of the Second for you. And isn't that cute? They left the Fifth intact for their good friend and convicted, you know what, Ghislaine Maxwell.
To the U.S. Constitution.
Let the record reflect that Ms. Maxwell has invoked the Fifth Amendment against self-incrimination. Ms. Maxwell, please be very clear. Are you declining to answer the question put to you solely on the ground that you believe the answer will incriminate you?
Remember what she was asked here. This was in a brain buster. She and Jeff Epstein were the only two in jail for Epstein stuff. And the first question asked was, were you a friend of Jeff's? And she's like, I'm pleading the Fifth, bitch. I ain't, no. And you want to know why? Because she's wanting clemency from Trump. Which, I don't know. Is that fart stain, going to do it? Who knows at this point? There's no predicting a dementia-riddled, ADHD, thin-skinned, bitch-made, wannabe tyrant. You can't predict how they move. They stick and move, baby. Whatever suits them today. Tomorrow will be a different thing. But here is, so I'm pretty sure Congress got to not only witness that, but then go through some of the files, and you're seeing a lot of reactions. Let's react to Congress Reacts. I think, I didn't take a picture of her, but let's react to Congress Reacts. I'll keep that one up. It's a big club. You ain't in it. Rest in peace, Carlin. Oh my God, yes. Quote, long nights and weird mornings. What is that from? He was free to do what he wanted to do, even still in prison. Oh, oof. I feel like I just fell in the game Roblox. Oof. Do government officials and the rich obey the law or break and bend it for personal use? I feel like I could ace this test. They bend and break it. If not, they rewrite it to suit their needs. Why do you think all them like Alabama senators are like, we should lower that age of consent, and then we'll use an Alabama court for the Epstein file? You know, it's like that's what they do. That's what they do. Why? Because they got the money from their backers, their puppet masters. And that's really what I'm trying to get here. The whole overarching theme of this is that, you know, greed, specifically greed, where it doesn't even have to be about money. They want the money because it gives them the illusion of power. And they want the money because people that see others with a lot of money in America, because we're not well educated, in America, people see money as an equivalence to smarts, to intelligence. Because there's no way in fucking God's green earth you could look at Donald Trump just looking at his face and be like, oh yeah, this is a smart dude. You'd probably wonder, like, did we not evolve from primates and maybe we evolved from toads? Like, that's what you would think looking at him, you know? Just the way he ribbits fucking disgustingness at everyone. So because we're super uneducated and you witness Americans cheering on, you know, no more educated, no more books, no more teachers, dirty look, you know, like that stuff. Just absolute moronicy or whatever you want to call it. People don't understand to the fullest extent of how poisonous it is when greed itself, they could want the money, but they don't want, like, you hear them in the birthday card, right? They're like, money in life isn't everything. And they're writing that between two friends. Donald Trump wrote to Jeff Epstein, money isn't everything in life. We know. And he's like, well, there's got to be more to it. So their greed wasn't about money. You know, neither of them earned their money. Donald Trump got his money from his dad's real estate company. He took it over and cut out all his siblings and his family members. So, like, they didn't earn this money. So they just have that entitlement, which is real greed. And with that, the money gave them power, gave them people to worship them, thinking they must be smart, because if they're not, how are they that rich? Like, that's literally a question I've had people say to me. And I'm like, have you never fucking heard of inheritance? My God, generational wealth? What planet are you from? But then those people who have totality of the money, the power, the subjugation of people thinking that they're brilliant, then they operate outside the laws. And they do what they want because they say, if we're in charge, who's going to investigate us? It's like when the police look into the police for wrongdoing of the police, and you're like, oh, they found nothing inappropriate happened. Looks like we're safe, folks. Another good job, police investigating the police. Amazing. I wouldn't call that a check and balance. I'd call that fucking checkmate. So anyways, thank you for the question. Oh shit, I had it paused. Ambition and greed don't have to be motivation. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's wisdom right there. You don't need to be motivated by ambition and greed. I would hesitate to even think that those are good motivators, you know? Ambition was, so you're going out so your neighbor doesn't get the egg that you desperately want? Do you know there's more than 2 eggs? And greed, my God. I guess it's corrupted us to the root. Fear and loathing, long nights and weird mornings. Okay, fear and loathing. Thank you, Sunshine. I knew that from somewhere. And it's a very familiar saying. Long nights and weird mornings. Lady Wiser's here. Double tag, like, share, subscribe. It is free. I'm supported by you, the viewer, like PBS. And I appreciate you guys. I love that you guys are here. I love it. Literally said the same thing as you did. Wow, I was pretty long-winded. So if you said that same thing the whole time I was saying it, props to you, Shadow Vermont. Respect. Okay, so here is Representative Stansberry coming out of the House Oversight.
We know that there are more than 36 associates, family members, and individuals directly associated with Donald Trump named in those files.
That's a lot. Hold on. How many? 3 dozen?
3 dozen associates, family members, and individuals directly associated with Donald Trump named in those files.
Everybody catch that? 3 dozen associates. Stephelson, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So everybody, Castletown, Vermont. That sounds like a cool place. I never even heard of Castletown. I've been up to Vermont a few different times. Love Vermont. 3 dozen. This isn't where there's smoke, there's fire. This is the house is on fire and you're either not paying attention or you're outside going, the house is on fire. You don't have 3 dozen associates, friends, and family members in the Epstein files. And you're like, I don't think it's anything. I don't think that will lead anywhere.
Now, there are now at least 9 or 10 other countries across the world that have opened investigations or forced their leaders to step down because of their mere association with Jeffrey Epstein. And the United States government is engaged in an active cover-up of the largest sector.
Oh, I'm going to just skip 1 second ahead.
Scandal and influence peddling scandal in the history of the United States, and Donald Trump is right at the center of it. And the person who is living to provide the evidence, who knows what is going on, is trying to invoke the Fifth to buy her clemency.
Damn. I'll tell you this. There's not too many politicians that impress me, but I don't know who this Representative Stansbury is, but when she's doing this video, I should have screenshotted it. She's dead eye right in the camera, like almost didn't blink. I don't know if that was memorized or off the cuff. I'm assuming it was memorized, but like that lady was like cold clocking the camera. Like, you understand, there's 3 dozen people, friends, family, relatives related to Donald Trump in them Epstein files. Like just cold-blooded, no fear, staring at that camera, and that's impressive. My hat's off to that lady for doing that. Usually you see like Chuck Schumer put us down, look around, or Donald Trump's hanging onto the podium, like trying to read the teleprompter. You've seen that, right? Go watch him when he went to Ohio. He's hanging on for dear life to the podium, like leaning. Ugh, I can't believe what is it, gerontocracy? Geriatric leadership we've somehow accepted. Ugh. Trump was number 1. Epstein was number 2. I'll believe it. At this point, like, these files prove that. You know what I mean? Like, Trump was just kind of desperate, you know? These people. Anyways, so if you aren't any smarter than that, stop talking. It's okay. Here's the thing, Sunshine. People will come in here and they'll have to say something like, oh, look at the lib, or what are you, messed up, or mom's basement, don't you have a job? What they're signaling to you is, I can't address this. My chicken taco supreme leader says I would be weak and stupid if I talk about this stuff. So I have moved on. Remember the Great Charlie Clan clip? Not Great Charlie Clan, the clip of him where he's like, the ball's in their hands right now. I'm just going to trust my government and move on from it. Like, that was the signal from Charlie Clan to the audience of Trump to move the fuck on, people. So when they come in here and they don't address what we're talking about, and they just try to attack the speaker, even though Jesus says, judge their heart, what they're showing you is, I can't do that. I'm not allowed. I can't, Epstein stuff? No. Us MAGAs have to pretend that didn't happen. Even though last year we elected him for it. But this year, that's what they're saying. So wherever you are in the world in a live stream, remotely coming to a virtual place near you, just know when you see those people in the chat, just understand what they're saying. They're real because they can't, there are some people in life that can't be honest. They can't tell you anything about themselves. They can't get to the true core of things. They can't reveal themselves of any ways. They can't get vulnerable. They've compiled themselves as this, bravada, real macho alpha skibbity Risman, And with that, you watch Joe Rogan Ice Bath, you take his alpha pills, and you never let anything affect you. In fact, everybody else is a victim. I'm not the victim, although I do need my own super time show, or whatever they call it. I think it's called the super time show. Anyways, so just know, because these people can't get honest, they have to attack. They have to. And the funny thing is if I wasn't, trying to do the news and I felt like attacking them, they'd go, oh, leave it to the leftists to get all violent with their words. Like they're constantly, perpetually in victimhood. So we can all see the lie too. It's not like we're being fooled. Amen to that. Amen. Incompetent stupidity. I would say malicious. Incompetent kind of lets them off the hook. We got to use the right language. I say it's malicious stupidity. You could disagree, but no disinformation, no character attacks, no spamming. Yeah, no disinformation. That's a big one. Go ahead and attack my character. I don't fucking care. But don't spam. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you come in here and say some stupid shit. I really don't. I don't. Yeah, see? This guy, and this is really what I figured out MAGA needs. A fucking friend, Because I'll tell you what, if I hated something, right, I'm not doing it every day. And these people are in here every day. God bless them. They're in here every day. So I just got a feeling, out on the farm, those corn stalks aren't looking as plump as they used to, and they need a friend. And I'm here for it, because if they're going to hear this, they can't unhear it, And it's better than watching, I don't know what they watch, Newsmax or something. Those people are poisoning your minds. They're absolute traitors to America, poisoning your minds. So I don't care. You know what I mean? Here, MAGA, here's a good lesson for you. Somebody who really isn't fragile or thin-skinned will be like, I don't care, go ahead. You can make fun of me. Notice how I did that? Notice that's the opposite of Donald Trump and the Republican Party and all of MAGA. Their creed is do not offend our Madam President. Do not. That's your creed. Like, that's what you would swear on an oath to the Constitution of please don't make fun of Donald Trump. Like, that's what you believe in. And it's just not, what are you guys trying to pawn yourself off as? Tough guys. It's just not tough guys, because I'll say something like that and then they'll like, you want to fight? It's like, you're making my point. You're so sensitive that you're like, that's it. I'm going to send the Epstein army for you. Okay, shut up. Shut up. Here's another lady coming out. U.S. Rep. Becca Balint. Ooh, from Vermont. Vermont in the house. Shout out to my hippies up in Vermont. Some of the best weed you'll ever get in your life. That's not a joke. Now, I know cannabis is still like illegal in a bunch of states. Pfft, dummies. Get on the bus. Woo woo. But let me tell you. Vermont. Those green mountains. You go up there. Delish. My compliments to all the landscapers florists up in Vermont. If you know, you know. Here is Vermont Becca's Balint.
Did he have any ties to any intelligence agencies? We've established some in our reporting, but...
This is Drop Site News asking about Epstein ties to intelligence agencies. And let's hear what she has to say.
Wanted to know based on the phone.
I only had about a half hour, so I'm going to go back again tomorrow. Okay. So mostly today I was just trying to go through a couple of documents that was particularly interested in finding out.
What were those?
One was related to whether or not Trump, had ever kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago, as he claimed.
What'd you find?
It's not true.
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
We knew that. I mean, it's funny that, God bless her, older white lady. And she's like, I'm going to get to the bottom of the Epstein thing. want to know if Trump was lying about kicking him out of Mar-a-Lago. I'm like, oh man, listen, that's taxpayer money not well spent, okay? Because if you're going into work and you're doing the one tame thing in the Epstein files and you're not looking into like the other redacted things and who of Jeffrey Epstein's co-conspirators names are being redacted and put on them, but you're like, did Donald Trump lie about kicking him out of Mar-a-Lago? Which, like, we already found out in, like, the first few Epstein dumps that, like, clearly, you know, I think one of the emails I showed you guys was Epstein saying, I'm spending Thanksgiving with Donald Trump, and this was, like, like a decade later than the date. It's like, you don't not talk to someone for 10 years and then go have Thanksgiving with them. So it's just adorable that Vermont senator is like, let me start at the very beginning. Did Donald Trump kick him out of Mar-a-Lago in 2003 or whatever it was? It's like, listen, honey, we pay good money in taxes. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, we want charges. We want tradition brought back. We want the Jacobin. You know what I mean? Like, we're looking for something. That's adorable. It really is. Leave it to Vermont. You know, she's like, I'm going to come here 1/2 hour a day and start from the beginning. Way back in 1992. And you're like, oh, bitch, you shouldn't be on the payroll. Oh. Federal government should pay for daycare in every state. Why, John? Because people have kids. And if you're going to force people to have to work 2 jobs, or at least both parents have to work, sometimes those kids need babysitting. And I don't know about you, but when I paid babysitters, I paid them so fucking much because I said, you're doing the most important job in the world. And I would pay my babysitters exorbitant amounts because you want them to care for the kids. John probably waits for the first offender to move into his neighborhood, knock on his door, and John goes, hey, man, if I had some kids, I'd let you babysit them. You got any good parenting advice? I get all mine from Donald Trump, but it's good to know we got one of you in the neighborhood. You know, like, John, you can't even hypothesize on why daycare is good for an economy where everybody needs fucking 3 jobs. My God. And don't do the, not my tax money. What, you just want your tax money to fund Epstein cover-ups? Okay, buddy. Okay, not a very serious person. This is what I mean. MAGA, I hate to say this, but when you're coming into my comment section, you're not bringing your best. Some of you are, you know the rest of the quote, but they're not bringing their best. And I would quote the rest of the president, but I think my video would get in trouble. That's crazy that the president can say stuff and they can play it on YouTube and it's fine. But if I quote the president in his words, like grab him by the, you know what I mean? If I quote the president, I get in trouble. But the president could say, like, just that alone should upset you to the nth degree. I don't even know. Anyways. Even Canada has low cost healthcare. Yeah, suck it, John. Stop being a moron. Not only that, but you know Canada did make insulin free for everybody that has national or private health insurance. Insulin free. Diabetics don't have to worry about what happens if they don't take insulin again. John, I'm sure you could rattle this off for me, huh? Such a big brain on John. Oh, that's right. They die. And here in America, if you don't work hard enough, that's your end too. The state can pay for, oh, here we go. John, what state are you writing in from? I pray to God it's not a red one, because you understand states like mine pay for all your shit. Oh, it's okay. You know, these dummies, they're going to starve themselves of oxygen. Oh, looks like Steve is in the chat, and he says, I love smoking poles. I don't know what that means, Steve, but God bless you in your journey to let your parents know. We know they're not acceptable of that, but here at my show, we're accepting and loving of everyone. So good job. Is that a barbecue thing, Steve? You like smoking poles? Interesting. I don't know what that means. It must be something the young kids are saying. Thanks for the comment. Keep them coming. I love these comments. Canada has free healthcare. Just pay more taxes. Yeah, dummy. They get something in return for their taxes. You pay taxes and don't get healthcare. Israel does, though. Don't worry, don't worry. Oh, man. I love that. Yeah, just pay your taxes and, like, get stuff back for it. What a ripoff. No, I'd rather just pay my taxes and then have to buy my health from some insurance company that's not a doctor so they can maybe okay that I get that insurance I'm buying. We know, whoever made that comment, that once you turn 27, your parents will no longer be paying for your health care and you'll join us in a serious fashion. I can't wait for you to grow up. Pay your taxes and give your money to Israel. Trump's way. Thank you, Joe D. You hear, Joe? I give him the authority. Russian bots. Yeah. Oh, Sendo Justa. Good to see you, man. Good to see you, man. Okay, hold on, because I got some more audio. And we're going to read about this. Epstein Files reveals prosecutor's announcement dated before his... That word. Before his... That word. Where is it? That word. I don't know what I can say and what I can't say. All these... Thanks, Joe. Everybody thank Joe. Ed, I'm probably only going to address you this once, but nobody's going to pay any more attention to you. We know you're desperate to tell us about how amazing the healthcare system in America is. Just stunning, really. I mean, what doesn't speak better for the healthcare in America is saying that we pay more than any other country close to our wealth, and our life expectancy is dropping to 77 years old. If that's not a testament to itself, that they want you to die young and pay more, or whatever Ed's trying to say, that it's the best, I don't know what does, you know? Who doesn't want to die earlier? I mean, isn't that the American dream now? That we're in fascist Trumpland? Seriously, you're not a serious person. And I say that seriously. Seriously, you're not a serious person. I'm very serious about that. So just shut the fuck up, Ed, okay? Shut the fuck up and go to Tim Pool's chat, where he's going to tell you which color M&M this week is reading a haiku to your dog to turn your kids trans. All in this Tim Pool's fucking, whatever he calls it, the culture war, you know? They're not going to mention any CEO, any politician that is in the Epstein files. And if they do, they're going to say, well, by golly, a mention doesn't mean guilt. Oh, so you would like an investigation to follow up on all these mentions? No, 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 no. We have bigger fish to fry, like the poorest people in the country. Like, Ed, I could do this all day just mocking you. So it's just better you just were quiet. You know what I mean? Not only do Americans fly to places like Germany, but goddamn, we're not even the hair plant capital of the world. It's Turkey. Elon Musk, gender-affirming care, flew to Turkey. I mean, guys, for all the balding, what do they call it? Oh, what's that word in French? La insecure men that are in America. Andrew Tate, hopefully he's back in Ronamia. I like to call it Ronamia. Andrew Tate, Elon Musk. Remember, he was bald. He was bald, folks. You guys forget this, but I'll show you. I'm sick of people forgetting how bald this bitch was. Look at that. I mean, I don't want to do the 5-head joke, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like bald and all of a sudden hairline? What the fuck? What? A baking powder? They go to Turkey. Like America, we should be the hair plant capital of the world, you know? What do they do? Take it off his butt? I don't know how that surgery goes, but, you know, we should have that kind of technology. We are falling behind Turkey. Guys, pretty sure that's where Hassan's from. We don't want to fall behind that socialist, you know? Can't believe this. This is really something else. Some of these fucking comments. You people. And you people. Oh, God. Where were we? Oh, by the way, who mentioned that earlier? Was it Sunshine or someone said, no, it was somebody else. They were talking about the stuff in the jail cell. I don't think I can actually say the words. But the old swinger, let's call it the old swing. Let him swing. Turns out that somebody There were 2 new hard drives to install, but installing the new hard drives would mean that all prior data would be lost. Now, this is, hold on, I think I brought up, here we go. All right. Told something still working on the system. Advised that an FBI agent was there who pulled out the DVR. Also advised that he knew by replacing both hard drives, the system would be wiped out. Had advised personnel at MCC of that. So this is all in the Epstein files that after he shuffled loose this mortal coil. Do you think Trump attended his funeral? I think Donald Trump held a special thing in Florida where he paddled out. You know, he got his McDonald's sponsored surfboard, longboard. And Donald Trump just paddled out with Jeff's ashes. It was like, never be the same, brother. And tossed him up in the air and they came back all over him. No, just kidding. He's alive. Dare you to find anyone who actually works in healthcare in the USA and supports the system we have. That's the beautiful thing about the internet. There's a lot of doctors who will spell this out for you dummies. But here's the thing: you can't expect them to want to talk to a doctor. These are the people that believed Joe Rogan was the beacon of intelligence when Joe was like, I don't trust the human doctors, but I will go see a good horse veterinarian for some dewormer. That's where I lay my trust, at the feet of Joe Rogan's advice. Remember, a big part of the country did that and defended it. And they were like, no, it's not dumb at all. You don't trust the human doctors, but the horse doctors, they know what's up. Holy sh... That's pretty incredible. When you make Rogan go right, you fucked up. That's true. You know who made him go right? Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen, all those guys, because they're the ones that are, his new friend club. If you want to look up who owns a large stake in Spotify, you might find Peter Thiel's money in there. You know what I mean? It's kind of the Epstein cast now. Do I still have that meme? I'm not even going to look for it. Bro believes in dragons. You don't? I think you not believing in dragons is the real issue here, buddy. What do I think of Rogan in real life, bro? I tell you what, because I've met him. He's tiny. He's like the Keebler elf of UFC fighters, even though he's not a fighter. I know he trained very hard so people wouldn't bully him. Well, we've heard the story. Oh my God. But he's a tiny guy. When I rode the elevator with him and I was like, what's up, man? I was like, can you hear me down there? I said, what's up? And he didn't answer. So I was like, man, being 2'3" it's got to be a challenge, but the camera adds about 4 feet. So he's good. But really, if you want to know, go watch Bill Burr's first appearance during that huge thing we had in America where people were going to see horse doctors. And Bill Burr calls Joe Rogan's whole game out, and he does it very politely and very nicely. Joe and Bill are sitting across the table from each other. Joe smoking a cigar with the American flag in the background. Really the pinnacle of who you should take medical advice from in America. A podcast, bro. And Joe's like, you wear a mask, to Bill. And Bill's like, yeah. And Joe's like, oh, really? You wear a mask? And Bill's like, don't try to do some like, I'm the science guy here smoking a cigar sitting in front of an American flag. Don't. He's like, Bill said, you know what this is like? This is like everybody in the 90s rollerbladed. Everybody. And one dude made a joke, rollerblading's a gay, and everybody threw away their rollerblades. And that just defines Joe Rogan. And Bill Burr did it so kindly. So kind. You can go watch this. It's really an art class. It's a master class of 2 massholes, both guys from Mass, Canton and Newton. Only one should erect a statue, and that would be Canton. God bless Bill Burr. Even though, he got a little sloppy going to Saudi of Arabia. Whatever. He needed the dough. We're all trying to afford egg, right, folks? Even Bill Burr's got to buy egg. That Mandalorian money just ain't hitting like it used to, huh, Bill? Huh, Billy boy? But go watch this masterclass in how to absolutely disassemble somebody who predicates himself on just bullying others. Joe wasn't trying to be funny. Joe was just trying to bully him into his belief. And it says a lot about Joe that that's what happened, you know? The billionaire class is like, oh, dummy, you don't have a cryogenic filter on your home? Oh, poor people, gross. I have that Michael Jackson tank in the corner that keeps me youthful. And my son is giving me his RNA or whatever they do. And this isn't like half that's probably made up, and the other half, I'm sure you could find an article about some tech crypto bro telling you that, like, you know, he's using his son's whatever at nighttime to re-vampirize himself. Or God doesn't know. God doesn't know. These people are cretins. Not the height makes the man at all. Just funny how they try to make him bigger in life. It's a metaphor for everything. Yeah, I would say that. There's been some tiny people. I can't think of anybody, but I'm sure, you know, there were powerful Irish poets that, you know, struck with the pen instead of the sword and, you know, made them titans. But what you're getting at is, yes, it's funny because they make him out to be some, you know, all the descriptions when people come in here and say, like, what is a man? And they expect me to list, like, you know, 6'5", blonde hair. It's really incredible when these males come in and ask me what a man or what a woman is. It's like they want this description and they don't understand the fine intricacies of life. And they try to make this dude into, I don't know what. What did they try to make Joe Rogan into? Like the everyman? The $100 million everyman? Okay. It doesn't make sense, but whatever. Soros money must be good. Yeah, saying we need to tax billionaires 100% and tax corporations, and that the elite greed is siphoning wealth out of our communities, that's a very profitable niche I'm in. Do you hear yourself when you talk, or do you just say shit and hope people clap? I really wonder this sometimes. I'm like, do these people truly... Joe Rogan's never fought. No. He did the commentary, the color commentary. But he did, if you read, I don't think he has a book, but if you read about his life story, he talks about being bullied and taking martial arts, which says a lot too. He'll never be bullied again. I've got all the money now, you poor idiots. That's what he says as soon as he gets off the air, just so everybody knows. Wait a minute, what's going on in there? That's misinformation. Maybe stop paying for illegals? This is what I mean. You know what? We've had enough of the fucking idiocracy. It's like, Ed, I don't know who the fuck is typing this shit for you, but you're clearly handicapped in the fucking brain. And listen, I love handicapped people, but sometimes there's just these assholes, you know? I think that's a better description. Just assholes, you know? That don't know they are that. And we had to shut him up. But you know what, Ed, come back tomorrow. We know you found some community here and you're like, hey, these people are engaging with me. Don't feed the trolls. Don't feed them. Okay, I want to go over this real quick because we'll get back to Epstein stuff, but I felt this was pretty interesting for all the maggots out there. Irish kid, Seamus Culleton, has been in detention for 5 months in Texas. It's insane. He's been living in the U.S. for 20 years, held by immigration and chode enforcement. Heavy emphasis on the chode enforcement. Originally from Ireland, married to a U.S. citizen, owns plastering business in Boston. Arrested in September. No criminal record, not even a parking ticket. In a phone interview, he said the conditions are like a concentration camp. Love you. Absolute hell. And I want to play, I'm surprised this hasn't gotten more play in America. but this is RTE or RT1. Sorry, my apologies to the Irish. RTE Radio 1. RTE Radio 1, where he called in to describe the deplorable conditions at these ICE camps.
Modern day concentration camp. So I could describe it as probably like a modern day concentration camp. It's a bunch of temporary tents. There's probably room for 1,000 detainees in each tent. I believe there's like 5 tents. I've been locked in the same room now for 4.5 months. I've had barely any outside time, no fresh air, no sunshine. I could probably count on both hands the amount of times I've been outside. So I'm just locked in this room all day, every day. We've got 2 TVs on the wall. We get 3 meals a day, very, very small meals, kid-sized meals. So everybody's hungry, everybody's tired. We've got no commissary, we've got no options to get extra food or anything like that. And the conditions here are filthy. The toilets, the showers, completely nasty, very rarely cleaned. I'm in fear for my life down here, honestly, because people have been killed by the staff here, by the security staff, and you just don't know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis. You don't know if there's going to be riots, you don't know if there's going to be, you don't know what's going to happen. It's a nightmare down here.
I mean, is there competition for food given how little you're each getting?
Oh, absolutely there is, yeah. And there's a little bit of the discrimination, I guess, against English speakers here. The Spanish speakers definitely get a preference when it comes to the extra food, if there's any extra food left over, because all the staff are kind of Hispanic and, they kind of stick with their own when it comes to that kind of stuff, So, we'd be extremely lucky to get anything extra,
That's insane to think he's describing. Well, I mean, if you've heard of any other prisons or jails in America, it's not. But it's insane to think that he's describing these makeshift concentration camps. And one of the replies, I'm not on Facebook, but that's where I got the audio from, is why isn't the Boston Irish community working to get him released? There's a strong community there. He was married to a U.S. citizen, so I'm not sure why he'd be considered illegal. Maura O'Shea. Let me tell you. Because it's not about legality. None of ICE is about legality. It's about boots on the ground, bigger plan and play. Why do you think they announced ICE guarding polling places? This is their army to stay in power. These are not trained people. These are not people who even, we went over this. These aren't people who even understand the Constitution or that they're not law enforcement. I heard a video where they were saying they're law enforcement. I hear them say that. I go, no, you're not. You're chode enforcement. You're immigration enforcement. You don't have any authority over U.S. citizens. They're not law enforcement. And you can't be law enforcement as you break the law. That's physically impossible. I don't think when you're breaking the law, you can be enforcing it, right? I think double negatives cancel out. I don't know how that works, but oh, yeah. Who is it? Igor? I'll shut him the fuck up. Yeah, listen, Tia, just silence whoever you want. I don't care. If you've had enough, then make him shut up. That's enough for me. Because if you can't have, I don't mind unlawful enforcement officers. They learned here what can happen to them. Are you in Minnesota? I'm guessing. Unlawful enforcement officers. That's what they are. Oh, there he is. Yeah, that turd burglar. I'll shut him up. See you later, Igor. Good luck tomorrow. If citizens interfere, they do have the authority to put them under arrest. Okay, listen, Captain. You missed a fucking comma. Listen, Captain, grammatical. We're not talking technicalities. What I'm saying is these people are announcing themselves as law enforcement to arrest American citizens, veterans of America, or people like this Irishman, Seamus Cullerton, who wasn't anything like you're explaining or trying to defend. Not illegal, was or had zero, not even a parking ticket. Again, it's kind of crazy. And to be held for 5 months, I'm pretty sure what amendment is cruel and unusual punishment? 8th. Okay, so that's going to violate the 8th Amendment. All right? That one's going to violate. Because when you hear him describing the cruel and unusual things, and then you hear he's been hemmed up for 5 months in Texas? Is that where they're holding him? In Texas, that is cruel and unusual in itself. If he's living in Boston, he needs access to family, bail, lawyers. You're moving him to Texas where he knows nothing? I mean, so again, 8th Amendment, U.S. Constitution prohibits the federal government from imposing excessive bail, excessive fine, or, quote, cruel and unusual punishment. I would say for no crime whatsoever, to be locked up for 5 months is cruel and very unusual. Not necessarily to America, but to, people with common sense. Now, who the fuck disagrees? Show yourselves. The 5th Amendment provides due process rights to immigrants. Additionally, the 14th reinforces these protections for all persons within the U.S. jurisdiction, including non-citizens. Thank you, Stephenson. That is correct. No due process was given. Correct. But I'm just going off of, the newest amendment to be blatantly railroaded. Not like an Epstein railroad, but he knows enough to call Irish radio. Well, I would say the American media is compromised by the Epstein class. But also, there have been, as Steve Bannon described, you throw everything at the wall. So people can't keep up with it. There's so much happening in America right now that it's hard to remember that this all happened because Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. Okay, it's hard to remember that. Like, you kind of lose sight. Like, oh shit, this is all over him trying to hide up the trafficking ring he's a part of. You forget, you kind of just lose that in the mix, in the wash of everything, of all the people murked in the street, held illegally, cruel and unusual punishment, all the stuff they say on a day-to-day basis, the racist memes, the we need our own halftime show and water fountains, a mix mash, a smorgasbord of poop they throw at the wall. It's hard to just center yourself and remember that this all happened because Donald Trump lied and was like, Epstein kicked him out in 86. And they're like, what are all these emails and accusations with you? It's hard to remember that this all happened because MAGA worships a creep. Worse than a creep. In prison, he'd be known as Stick Boy. So, sometimes we just got to refocus, But that's probably why I called Irish radio, because here in America, I don't know, there's a billion horrible things happening. And Irish radio is like, they got the one lad. Call him up. What are those sticks called? What are them Irish sticks called? Come on. What are them Irish walking sticks? Shillelaghs. Get your shillelaghs. That's what I'm talking about. Get your shillelaghs out. We're going to the White House, But that's why I'm bringing the attention to it too. I think all these people should be released. Man, the violations have just gone wild. And the funniest part is like there's a sect, almost a religious sect of America that like thinks in some sense this is okay because what they deem it as illegal. But I'm showing you right here, there was nothing illegal about this dude. Nothing. Nothing. Maybe that he married a girl from Boston. I don't know. Some places that might be considered, faux pas, but, but nothing illegal. Not even a parking ticket. So it's like, I want to show you this just to wipe away. Because maybe with the white skin, you racists will be like, oh, wait a minute. You're visual learners. That's why most of your stuff is done in crayon. So it's just important to, try to speak their racist language to them. They don't understand otherwise. Irish Times, trustworthy source. Yeah, RTE1 radio, the audio I just played of the interview, very invalid. We all know that. You guys know RTE, the main broadcaster in all of Ireland, pretty unreliable, guys. Listen, if you're going to come in here and act stupid, at least be like funny stupid. Don't just be stupid on the face for the sake of stupidity. Would you see that and you're like, I got him. Guys, we got him. Fake story. Like, this is the denial MAGA lives in. They got to be like, is there anything wrong? Irish Times, we've got him, boys. Harp on it. Harp on it. Harp on it. God. Expensive. You use crayons? Well, I don't. These kids' parents do. To try to explain the law is the law. I agree. So let's put all of the Epstein people under investigation, remove them of their royalty titles. Here in America, royalty just means you're outside of the law, and put them in prison. Right? Let's switch topics real quick. Right? Is the law? Or only when it helps your cause? That's what I've really noticed about MAGA. The one thing is they're so hyper-focused on team sports that they think everybody else is a Democrat and they are the Republicans. And that's it. That's all that exists in this world. And either you're winning or you're losing. Why do you think Donald Trump used to say winning? Because it's a moron's call to find other morons, It's like beautiful exotic birds out in the jungle. They have these specific dances and certain chirps and tweets that they can find each other through the thicket of the jungle. And that's what Donald Trump did. He went winning, and people were like, oh, is he winning? Winning. It was like the moron call. It was like the moron mating call. And it tricked them all, man. Wait. Who? Linda. Okay. So this lady has short hair and black. This lady was never in jail. Yo, Linda, I love you. Hit subscribe. That's hot shit, that comment. Oh my God. The maggot dog whistles. Thank you, Tia. I've never seen hair so jet black. And she was getting that salt and pepper. Linda. No, she is a spy. You are the moron. Me? I might be. Oh my God. I'm from Belfast. Oh, do you ditch? Conos a tattoo. Temego mai. Chuck your law. We see things quickly. Linda, you're from Belfast. Please subscribe, Linda. Please subscribe. She's in low security. She's in no security. They gave her I hate calling it a service pet when in the company of her, because, the charges. I did. Amazing. What's up, Cage? Good to see you. But I mean, come on. I'm pretty sure in commissary, you can't get hair dye. You could get a haircut. You can't get hair dye. What are you telling me? She's starting a fire with her outlet to make ash, to use soot to color her hair. Yo, if you think I had that same big, beautiful picture hanging by the phones. Really? That one? Gun B. You had that same. So is this just prison art? Is this standard? Like when you go to the doctors and they always have like what's that magazine that's always there, People or whatever? It's like standard subscription mail art for prison. Megan Kelly. Fuck that bitch. What do you think short hair is not short hair? How is she dyeing it? Yo, she was going gray as hell in older pictures. I wish I had some. I can't bring it up, but go look it up. Okay, thank you, MAGA, for bringing yourself to the front. Now that you've all freaked out over the hair dye accusations, I'd like to ask you a question. Do you believe she should be in a minimum security federal camp? Because you're all defending, oh, they could get everything in prison. Oh, you can't do that. Knowing her charges, MAGA, now that you've defended that she should be able to smuggle in hair dye, I would like you to defend her being in this federal camp. Just a short year ago, you guys were concerned about the children. That's why you had a buffalo shaman or whatever. QAnon shaman. So now I'd like MAGA to answer me. Do you agree with her being moved to a federal camp instead of a prison? You know Donald Trump's probably going to grant her clemency so she don't snitch. Scott the Rock. I've been in prison. It don't matter how much money you got. You ain't getting hair dye. But she's not in prison, let's remember. She's in a federal camp. I had a friend who went to one of these. He said it was the easiest time he's ever done. Easiest. I think her family walking out of court speaking to the press was Ghislaine Hoxsell. Powerful mind control programming. This is very much, if anybody knows about old Chucky Manson and his little je ne sais quoi of troglodytes that followed him and would listen to him or whatever. I should get... oh my God, how dare you burp on my live stream. Don't do that again. I should get some of their audio clips because they were like brainwashed, you know? And that's all you see with this Epstein stuff. This is really all you see is brainwashing. And we're starting to hear some... The cool thing is, hold on, is this it? Senator Cynthia Loomis, Republican out of Wyoming, said she now understands, quote, what the big deal is after reviewing the unredacted files to Jeff Epstein. I mean, you're starting to get these people to wake up when they're firsthand reading the files unredacted. But it's kind of bewildering how these people...
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Will, you know, defend all of this. Yeah, I don't like that she got a soft prison. Good. I don't like the J6 pardons either. Good. Starting point. You have somewhere to stand your ground on. Because if you can agree with that, then you should agree that Donald Trump should at least be investigated for the 38,000 mentions of his name in the Epstein files. This isn't where there's smoke, there's fire. This is not one of those situations. This is the house is on fire, and you're either getting out going... I did 5 years straight, Ohio Penn. Glad you're out. I hope everything's going better. I hate that the prison system here is not into rehabilitation. I think that is a major downfall, especially with all of American culture saying, if you do the crime, do the time. And then they just want to forget that you paid your price to society. And they want to act like being away from society in those conditions isn't a price to pay. And especially when you understand that there are other prison systems around the world that are very much into rehabilitation, integrating people back into society. Same thing with addiction and rehabs, that you start to understand how cruel it is. And it's almost an excuse, or modern day, a nouveau slavery, as they would call, I don't know who's they, but I guess I did, way to disregard people, to throw people away, to strip you of your voting rights, to write you off as ineligible, even if you had signed or done your time. And that really bugs me, and it should bug other people too. J-Mail, That's right, Hot Carl 85. I don't know if that's your name. I just saw H Carl, but yeah, jmail.world, neo-slavery, yep, whatever you want to call it. This dude is like, prison is bad, but just don't do anything bad. Okay. Steffelson. Ghislaine files more than 400 complaints behind bars about canceled temple services, hypoallergenic pillows, and no access to black hair dye after she was unable to cover her gray. I bet she wrote a bunch of complaints, and I bet she labeled each one to Donald Trump personally. What is she charged with? I'll look up the charges. Don't know if I could read them all, just so I can get specifics. Wait. Hold on. Okay, she was serving a 20-year federal prison sentence. Because I don't think that's happening no more. She was found guilty of aiding, grooming, and trafficking young girls for financier Jeffy Epi, also known as Donald Trump's BFF. They were like this. They sent each other poetry and birthday cards and lived next to each other. And Donald Trump admitted that Jeff was stealing girls right out of his massage parlor. And I mean, you don't become close friends with people, unless they're taking girls from your underage massage parlor or whatever it was. Spa. Oh, that's the appropriate term. The spa. You know what I mean? Yeah, trafficking of a minor, conspiracy to that, transportation of a minor with intent to engage in, oh my God, I don't think I could read that one, and 2 counts of conspiracy. And then she was, in August, moved to from a Florida prison to the minimum security federal prison camp. It's a fucking sleepover camp. FPC Bryan in Texas. And every day since then, she's been begging her old friend Donald Trump to pull the trigger on that pardon. And this is just one of the many ways. Stop repeating yourself in chat. Please do bring a vocabulary to the group. Please. We ask nicely. Just have, two brain cells to rub together. If you're going to just, be a broken record because old Madam Trump, like a mama bird, fed you some stuff to regurgitate. Oh, God. If you're going to ask about Bill Clinton, I address it all the time. Put him in prison. What do you want? I don't have a fucking Bill Clinton was right about everything hat. As somebody made the joke, we don't have Bill Clinton meme coins. We don't give a shit about politicians. We want health care. God damn, you morons. So stupid. Just like this one, Reverend Jim Jones. Jim Jones. That's an interesting name. Look it up. He says, it's all his fault always in every way. Clearly someone who hasn't read any of the Epstein files, and I would like to call an ostrich. Keep your head in the sand, buddy. That's a way to live life. Way to live life until they come for your kids. Dusty, we think Clinton is breaking the law too. Huh? And I just needed to take this moment because this epitomizes MAGA in a nutsack shell. They think everything is team sports. So when you hear that, when they're like, what about Clinton? Or somebody said, Kamala lost. They think it's team sports. They don't understand. They're on the team of the billionaires who would use, abuse, and chartreuse them if so pleased. And that's no joke. This billionaire class doesn't know you exist while you're spending the majority of your day to defend their most heinous crimes, okay? And they laugh all the way to the extortion bank where I'm guessing that's where they hold all their money. I don't know. But they're ripping us off and you're doing their dirty work. Thankless job, by the way. I have audio of a farmer who was like, Donald Trump, you said you loved us. We need to see the fruits of your love. I'm not even going to play it because he's such a sad, pathetic waste of a fucking American. Real Americans are like, you're pretending to be a king? Do you fucking know how we started this country, dude? Like, know a little bit of your history and then make that joke, And these people just are so simple-minded. That's why the Super Bowl is one of the biggest things, because they can register, okay, 2 teams, 1 good, 1 bad. It's really that basic. And that's how MAGA looks at life. That's why you see them. What about Biden? What about Clinton? What about those people? I'm not a fucking Democrat. I know this is shocking to you. You're like, what? People cannot be Democrat or Republican? It's like you fucking woke up after being in a coma since 3rd grade. Really. And it's not embarrassing for me. I'm just highlighting it because, you know, we got to shame you out of that stupidity. It's not coming off itself. That stuff is sticking like you're rolled around in tar. We got to shame you out of it. And we will. Keep coming back after we mute you. Oh, God bless you. You think I'm a liberal? God bless the little dummies everywhere. God bless them. Because they know no better, you know? Now I understand what Jesus was saying when he was like, forgive them, Father, for they don't know. He really understood, like, these are just, you know, these are just a couple of chads in the Roman army. They were blessed with muscles, didn't have to do any thinking. Unfortunately, some of you ain't blessed with muscles. But, you know, just graced by God with sheer ignorance for anything going on in the world. You know the worst part about this, and I hate that I say this a lot, but like, you fucking dummies have the internet. I know you do because you're on YouTube. And like, you could easily look up what's difference between liberal and leftist. Like, this is a simple fucking Google search. And you can even use Google. They'll track all your information anyways, but you can even use them as a reliable source here, which most of the time they're not. You know, billionaires are paying to put shit in front of you whenever you search, and that's just facts. But, you know, I kind of, like, makes me a little angry because we used to have to walk uphill both ways in the snow to get to our local library that at the time was better funded, to go into the encyclopedia to look shit up like this. And you fucking slackers, you boomers and you young kids with your inability to fucking hook up a printer or the VCR, you rely on us elder millennials to do everything. And I'm sick of thinking for you. You have the internet. You dummies can look this shit up and know what you're saying. Because if you're going to say something like that, you need to know the definitions. They're important. It's what makes words words. It's like when we read off her charges and you don't understand any of it. So you're like, that's fine. She's at a camp. I don't know. She looks well groomed. You know, like, that's the height of your judgment. It's pathetic. Who wants to listen to RFK? I do. This guy. Holy shit, this guy, RFK. Do I have a photo of him? Probably not, because I don't want to scare anybody. Here, we'll look at this guy. Oh, look at that black eye. Remember when we showed up with the black eye? And we were like, how'd you get a black eye? You don't even have friends, you know? Who beat you up, you kid? Jesus. Even his kids are like, yeah. Here is, and we're going to go into this story next. Elon Musk will be deposed over what he did with Doge. What happens after the deposition, only God will know, because our government doesn't work for us. So it's probably just going to be a big for show, you know, a big for show. Like, oh, look at us grilling him. I love the headlines where they're like, Congressperson grilled this person. Who gives a shit? Are charges coming out of it? Is our water cleaner? Do we have health care? I don't fucking care. This isn't a Nick DiPaolo roast. Jesus, what happened to that guy? You know, this wasn't a Greg Giraldo's hits. This wasn't a fucking Jeff Ross fucking one-up-em. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that congressman ripped into someone. I want to hear charges, you know, because these people are criminals, man. And you can even read poorly and understand that. Shout out to George Carlin, one of the greatest. All right, here's Secretary. He's a secretary, by the way. RFK Jr. is a secretary. That's not very alpha. I would have been head president of health. I would have been the macho president of health and humanities, you know? Oh, they can change the Department of War, but Donald Trump still loves calling these bitches secretary. Hey, Secretary Pete, why don't you come over here and polish my shoes for a minute while I poop my pants, you know? Oh, that's real alpha, Department of War. Mr. Secretary. Listen, I don't give a shit if you're a secretary. I understand the sarcasm here. I'm just making fun of these fools because they all think they're the toughest shit, but then they got the title of secretary, and there ain't nothing funnier than a well-dressed man acting like a secretary. Hold all my calls, Senator Secretary Kennedy. Oh, they're a bunch of secretaries. That's what we should do. You know, we should go to these events, be like, secretary, why don't you go answer the phones? That would be how many people would be involved in politics if you could have a crowd like at a baseball game? I should upload the video where I'm heckling Jonathan Papelbon, former closer for the Red Sox, and then he went to, I think, the Phillies. And I spent maybe 6 innings getting this dude's attention, and finally he had enough. And Jonathan Papelbon turned around and flipped me off, and the crowd went riotous, and I have it on film. Oh, it was a great day. It was a great day to know that you could get under his skin before that 9th inning, and just know that you're in his head when he's trying to throw that fastball. Oh, shit, that feels good. And how many people would just love politics if we could go and heckle these people? I don't know why we have the decorum of like some fucking monarch, 16th century fucking, colony of England. We are Americans. Free speech. We should be out there being like, secretary, get the phone, shut the up. Now that is politics, man. You want to clip something? You want to say somebody got ripped into at a meeting? I don't want to hear about a congressman. Congressman, you should be making laws. The Epstein people are illegal. That's the only illegals in this country. I want to hear heckler get Secretary Kennedy a good one during his Trump lets me do stuff meeting in front of the Heritage Foundation, by the way. The poster in the background says Heritage Foundation. He's telling you who lets you do stuff. He's going to say it's Donald Trump, but the poster that allowed this to happen, the money that put him up there is the reason he can do whatever he wants. The Heritage Foundation, the people who brought you Obamacare, if you don't believe me, go look it up. Affordable Care Act was created by the Heritage Foundation. It was originally called Mitt Romney Care. And they also brought you Project 2025. The imperialist takeover of corporate Republican, nationalist Christian right-wing think tanks. We're fucked. If this is the people running shit, we are fucked.
Understanding of the uses of power and, how...
Listen, I know it's hard to understand him, but he's got a brainworm, okay? So everybody just has some respect for the secretary.
strong the presidency actually is, how much leverage we have over all of these people, nations, corporations.
How much leverage we have over. You know what's the sign of a good peacemaker? Because remember, he wanted the Nobel Peace Prize. Is how much leverage you have over people. Like, do they have their own Epstein black book on other countries? Like, I'm not sure I understand that. Could you elaborate, Secretary?
Who've been taking advantage of us in the past, and then also...
Yes, famously, guys, I want to point this out too. Whenever MAGA points out how famous America is for being taken advantage of in the world, I just want you to think of all the sweatshops that China opened here to create their Samsung Galaxy 4. Remember that. I need everybody to remember when Secretary Kennedy says we've been taken advantage of in the past. I want you to think of how many countries have invaded us to take our oil in Texas. Just think about that. I want you to think about how many times you've driven by that local sweatshop and thought, God damn, those poor kids don't get any breaks there. I want you to remember when these other countries are taking advantage of America, I want you to think of those things. Okay? I want you to remember that. Pour a little of your drink out for all the kids working in America, probably mostly in the South, but I'm doing a satirical thing here where I pretend that, we're the ones opening, the other countries are opening their highly illegal operations in this country. Yeah. If we're invaded by anything, it's corporations. They have invaded, overrun, disqualified people from having a vote, and they just, no matter what party takes control, they go, that's adorable. They voted for you. We paid you. Time to pay the piper. Okay? Now you're going to push this little law we wrote out through. You just sign your name at the bottom. Don't worry reading it. It don't matter if it steals all the land, water underneath all your citizens, your constituents. What are they going to do? Vote you out? We'll buy the next one. You understand that's how politics works in America. Okay, everybody's on the same page? Great. Never had this many people agree before. I'm not going to read the comments.
Just think, I think he's probably the most business-friendly president we've had.
Oh, let me translate. So, Robert, the Robert secretary said Trump's been the most business friendly. Now, I know some of you MAGAs are going to pretend I own my own business, and some of you might even own your own business. But if you think he's talking about your fucking lawn mowing business, oh my shit. Let me explain about immigration and chode enforcement. They're stealing all the workers. And the funny thing about that is, like, how do you stop drugs coming into a community? You don't get all the dealers, you get the people giving it to the dealers. So you know, if we really wanted to stop illegal people, as MAGA says, from stealing the jobs in America, I say we lock up all the fucking bosses, everybody who's hiring them. You know, all those rich white guys underpaying people and exploiting the labor. Let's put a few of them in jail. Let's see if that cleans itself up, huh? But anyways, what secretary? I want to get the right title. It's Secretary Kennedy, Secretary Bobby. No, that was his dad. Secretary Robert is saying is Donald Trump cares about all the businesses that are bribing him. Remember when he went to the oil tycoons? He's like, for $1 billion, I'll do drill, baby, drill. Real story. Remember when all of those people were at his inauguration? Remember when Tim Apple, real name Tim Cook, dummy president, stupid dumb president, sorry to call him that, but that's the only language he speaks, dumb. He called him Tim Apple when his name is Tim Cook. I know that's difficult. Cook, Apple, verb, now. Me confused, me dummy, me just president. He's so fucking stupid. Anyways, when Tim Apple came and gifted him a brick of gold, and then he got excused from tariffs, like it was bringing in a teacher an apple to class, you understand, people, like, he's not talking about your fucking business. If you're in my chat, or if you're watching this later, and you're maggot, MAGATS, he ain't talking about you, okay? Unless you made $1 billion donation to get your stepson out of prison, then yeah, he's talking about you. But he's not. He's saying business friendly, as in like, yo, this dude is undoing all the regulations. He's putting a union buster in charge of the National Labor Relations Board. Real story, look it up. He is doing everything to strip the workers of their power and embolden the corporate Epstein class. He's not talking about your fucking pizza shop or your Etsy store. Okay? I'm sick of people being like, I'm a businessman. I fucking, whatever. I don't know what it is. But let's just say you're not rich enough. Okay? Continue, secretary. I love calling him that, secretary. Why don't you go pick up the phones, buddy?
Maybe
Oh, is that a phone ringing? Can you shut the fuck up and get that, secretary?
George Bush was business friendly, but he's very business friendly, and he admires business people more than anybody. He loves them.
You know why Donald Trump, if he's still talking about Donald Trump, I know he mentioned Bush there, but you know why Trump admires business people? Because he wants to be one. He's not. Just go look up his record, folks. This is the amazing thing when I was talking to this MAGA dude the other day. The guy literally knew nothing about Donald. Nothing. Besides, he thought his dad gave him a $100,000 loan. And I was like, that is fucking adorable. No, he took over his dad's real estate empire. It's the only reason he has money. I mean, he failed selling steaks at Brooks Brothers. He failed at selling water. He failed his airline. He failed casinos. I mean, he was busted with his dad giving him illegal loans to the casinos. We've gone over that here at the channel. Showed you the news articles. So, I mean, like, this is not a business dude. He didn't write the art of the deal. He had a ghost. You know what I mean? Like, he really can't do anything. So, of course, like, around people say big words like, like they're very highfalutin society means not understands. But he's like in awe. He's like, what the fuck? How are you drinking that water with one hand, sir? Oh my God, I can't believe that. He's like, I go like this. The only thing he was good at was building a brand. Then he ruined it. But even his brand, Incubus the Man. Do you remember that band? Remember that band, Incubus? Remember? Everybody remember Incubus? Let's just take a moment to remember Incubus. Okay, that's enough. he wasn't even that good at building a brand because his brand was always like tacky Russian mobster, you know? And now that we've seen Jeff Epstein's office and seen his office, we know it was really tacky trafficker. You know what I can say? Can't. So even his brand, and I'm telling you that as someone like, I spent every summer in New York with my family. My family's from New York. He's a well-known fraudster. Like, he was never like, even in his home in New York, he's never voted for him. He left New York. His home state is like, no, we'd rather not. You know what I mean? So even the brand he built was never like, it was like, you know, some fucking dude in South Dakota would go to Brooks Brothers and be like, oh, hot damn, a Donald Trump steak. I heard they have the best steaks in New York. Not realizing like maybe New York serves the best steaks, but they're not known for like, you know, the cattle. And I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. So even his brand was like tacky gold, you know? So it wasn't even like he was this marketing genius where they were like, let's figure out an athlete to wear this Nike. Mike Jordan. I heard he could be, you know, like he was just like, I'm rich, bitch. Like before Chappelle's show did that, that was Donald Trump's brand. Like, I'm so rich, everything is gold. How could I not be rich? And people were like, that totally makes sense. I should buy into that. And it just didn't even work, you know? I'm missing some of these conversations. Any successful business owner has a lot of failed businesses. Bro, we're talking about selling water to humans. I don't know if you know this. Humans have to have water. And I'm guessing his name repelled people. We're not talking about like keep failing and just keep trying and success is just one more failure. Like, bro, get with the fucking program. This is a grifter. He wasn't failing businesses. He was getting illegal loans. He was laundering money. He was doing shoddy deals. He's an incompetent maroon. Ugh. You wish I was a thousandaire. Shut your filthy mouth. I'm a 10-air. I'm a 10-air. All right, let's talk. Oh, wait. We didn't even finish Madam Secretary. Madam Secretary Kennedy, keep telling us about how great Trump is. Because also, they can't have, that's the other thing that's hysterical about MAGA, where they're like, free speech. And you're like, why is everybody kissing his butt and saying the same thing? And they're like, because it's the freest speech ever. You all say the same thing once you're enlightened, you know? I feel like they were doing those node things with the Scientologists. They were like, all right, he's good. He's good. Get him in the little secret room where we break him down and make him not think anymore. But do you notice that in every fucking meeting with one of these regime secretaries, they're all like, I just got to say, really, the things are so great because Donald Trump is. You know, a lot of people have been saying stuff, but I'm just going to say that things are so great because Donald Trump is the greatest. And people are like, yeah, this makes sense. He's on to something. All right.
But he will not tolerate overreach, and he doesn't care about vested interests, and he doesn't care about, about offending powerful people. So it's a joy to work for him because he lets me do stuff that I don't think anybody else would ever let me do.
He lets me do stuff like nobody else would let me do. I'm just going to Google something real quick. Okay. Measles continues to spread in South Carolina. Okay, interesting. I don't think anybody would want that to happen, so maybe that's one of the things he let him did because, he doesn't give a shit about you. Let's see. Is measles eradicated in the U.S.? There we go. Second one up. No, first one. Measles was declared eliminated in 2000, but not worldwide. The current situation as of February 26, 2026 is the elimination status at risk. Record-breaking outbreaks in the past year. So I'm guessing that's one of the things that, Trump would let him do, and other people would be like, that's fucking crazy. We had that eradicated. Why are you bringing it back? He's like, cause I'm gonna eat fermented stuff. You're like, what does that have to do with anything? It's just weird that the secretary, Madam Kennedy, isn't into like, getting people access to healthcare. That one tried and true thing that makes every other country in the world have a bigger lifespan than Americans. You don't hear him talking much about that, but that's okay. It's okay. What do I know? I'm not Madam Secretary. But what else did he say here? Something really interesting.
About offending powerful people.
That's pretty funny. So he says Donald Trump doesn't care about offending powerful people. But if I just say he's Jeff Epstein's best friend and one of the stupidest fucking Americans we've ever had come from this soil, watch his followers get so upset. They can't help it. There's a little delay, so, we'll give it a second. But they get so flamboyantly furious, which is hilarious because Kennedy's saying he doesn't care about offending powerful people. And I would say there's no more powerful person on earth than the president. Maybe the puppet masters, but those are shadow people like Netanyahu and Putin. So it's just interesting. So he doesn't care if he can offend powerful people, but if you offend powerful people, no. Okay, we get it. Three reasons for Trump's current mental state: damage from years of drug use in the 80s and 90s, replaced by Adderall. Read that too. Age-induced decline, which is the funniest one ever. Age-induced decline, which means, and he was never intelligent, thank you, just means that Donald Trump is so old, he's stupid now. It just happens. This is just science. I'm not going to use the fancy science lingo. I know you maggots don't like that. If I was speaking in horse veterinarian terms, then you'd be cheering. But, when you get old, you get stupid. Your brain just, dissipates. It's like, we kind of quit, And the funniest thing about MAGA is like, oh, Joe Biden, senile, sleepy. When literally we have videos of Donald Trump falling asleep in cabinet meetings, pooping his pants, and doing everything that old people do. The adorably disgusting thing of old people. And it's just par for the course. That's all, But they act like, again, this goes back to my theory. I have theorized. My hypothesis on the ruin of America is team sports. Team sports. MAGA can only see things in team sports. That's it. Red or blue, red or blue. Red or liberal Democrat. And they think those are the same, which they kind of are. And they don't understand what a leftist is. They have no comprehension of independent, besides Jill Green and the Rainbow Party. Or Jill Stein. The Green Party was a thing too. Whatever they're calling it now. Who gives a shit? And team sports has absolutely rotted to the core America because it's not team sports. There's only two teams, and it's not red and blue, okay? It's the elites, the Epstein class, which Donald Trump is one of them. Coastal elite, Nepo baby, from New York, Democrat, friends with the Clintons. That was before he decided to grift you people in red states. And those are just fat. Like, go read. Your brain needs it. It needs a new wrinkle. And he is absolutely fucking just grifted these people into believing they are on his team. And the funny thing is they're working for him and he ain't paying them, which is also in his history. Just go look it up. Steffelson, appreciate you. Hey, viewers like you make this show happen. It's only supported by viewers like you. I think YouTube maybe throws me a couple of pennies for videos, but not much. So it's vital to be supported. And you can do that too. You can super chat, you can join as a member, or you could just hit subscribe. It is free, it is amazing, and I thank you for it. We got to talk about Elon Musk, because who wouldn't like to see this dude in jail? He's not going to fare well once he goes to prison. You know what I mean? If you guys thought the QAnon shaman guy was like, an uppity bitch in jail because he was like, I only eat vegan. And they're like, I don't know, don't commit the crime if you can't do the time. All that stuff they threw in everyone's face. I believe Elon is going to have a hard time, because he's a criminal. We love you, F. Donald Trump. Amira Porkhomani. I hope I pronounced that right. Thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot. And in this wasteland of an algorithm of like, let's try to feed you all this right-wing propaganda, which is even Democrat shit, it's good to have other voices who are saying, don't buy into these narratives. You know, when you hear this stuff, even I will criticize Democrats too. I'm not a fucking Democrat. You know who I'm for? The people, you. I don't ever want you to have to go to GoFundMe to raise medical fucking bill money. I don't want you to have to call an Uber instead of an ambulance. I don't think you should be working 5 days a week or 7 or whatever it is. 3 days, 15 hours. That's what the robber barons 100 years ago said. Go read a book. Okay? That's it. That's it, folks. It's very simple. Guaranteed sick leave. Shouldn't have to earn it. Minimum wage should be $66 an hour. I know that's going to freak you out, MAGA. I know. But I believe you're worth more. Thank you for the sent a torch. Thank you, Sharon. Weeping Angel, good to see you. Good to see you. Poor maggot cult members. In 10 years, I would say 3. They're going to be like, I never even liked that guy. Once you get in cult therapy, it's called deprogramming, and they're going to need a lot of it. Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon. Hold on. I'm going to play this song, If I Could, by Bunkbed Coffin. I got to go check something real quick. Corrupted, Rich versus Poor. Those are the teams. That's why, like, Tim Pool irritates me that he can, in America, people are so stupid, they'll see class war or culture war on the bottom of his ticker. And I'm like, you think this is a culture war? You've lost. The rich are well organized. It's in the Epstein files. They're like, oh, they'll never rise up. We gave them TV. They have Nickelodeon or whatever the fuck was in there. I showed it to you the other day. Like, the rich are well organized. Why do you think I say the Democrats and the Republicans work for their bosses? They're all on the same team. That's why all blue isn't giving us universal health care. That's why when systems fail, this is a quote, when systems fail, you don't reform them, you replace them. Just like when America started and they were like, oh, no. This monarchy shit, we've had enough, okay? This ex-bitch from across the ocean, like, bossy. We doing our own thing, you know? If you really believe in America. $66 minimum is not boggling when you know how much a trillion is. 100%. 100%. Hold on. Here is Bunkbed Coffin, like you sleep in, both. One in life, one in death. If I could.
If I can only get it into my head, if I can only get it into my head that you love me, you love me. If I can only outshine all the stars, if I can only outshine all the stars, would you keep me? Keep me. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. Better and more young. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. It's all in my mind, I can tell myself. Better and more young.
Not even feels like Elon. This is what I was telling you from the Epstein files, where they said, you know, you may not believe in a class war, but billionaires know they're in one. They said, because of capitalism, pop culture defangs social movements. Look at the 60s and 70s, Black Panthers, hippies, yippies, leaving people more invested in consumption than justice. This is the wealthy saying, like, we don't have to worry about them. Those working people are just working to buy the next Nintendo, or I don't know what the kids do nowadays. Oh yeah, here is Zuckerberg and Elon Epstein sending this photo to himself at a dinner with them. But hold on, somebody said, didn't Elon tweet something sad? And I thought that's so funny because he did. This is one sad thing. Let's first read this. Dude has 14 children with 4 women. I think it's more than that. But to sleep with women endlessly without love is a cursed and hollow life. Oh, look at that humble brag. Go raise your kids. Isn't that what the Republicans say? You know, dad should be in the home. Where is the other one? There's a sadder one. There's a much sadder one. Here it is. Whoever said money can't buy happiness really knew what they were talking about. This is a dude who has $1 trillion or almost, and he's trying to tell you that money is just a curse. So I always have to bring this up because money can't buy happiness. Elon Musk proves that. But what it can do is provide financial security, which reduces stress, improves health, and increases life expectancy. And you see that in America right now just by looking up the statistics. We pay more for healthcare and our life expectancy is declining. So, you know, if we didn't have to pay so much, and we could have some of that money back to invest in, I don't know, healthy food or fucking taking a vacation from work or not just working many jobs, we might improve that life expectancy. More income means better access to education, healthcare, and leisure. The wealthy use this myth to justify inequality, pretending that money doesn't really matter while hoarding billions. The important thing on this is if money can't buy happiness, let's just take him at his word here, right? Give it the fuck away. Pay your taxes. I don't know. There's a million things you could say. He's going to have $1 trillion. You don't understand how much money that is. You just don't. You just don't. You can spend it in one lifetime. You couldn't spend it in 1,000 lifetimes. It compounds to become more and more. That's how he's becoming a trillionaire. It's not because he earned it. It's not because he's the CEO of 4 different companies while he was a White House special envoy or whatever, which he put a video game system in his office and bragged online about playing video games while at work and being CEO of 4 companies. If that doesn't say replace CEOs with AI, I don't know what does. But this is really interesting. And I hope and pray somebody in his inner circle, which we know wasn't an Epstein circle because, man, was he a begging bitch. But I just hope somebody goes, listen, if it can't buy you happiness, you know, what else would you purchase? Give it away. Give it to somebody who can buy happiness with it. You know, isn't that what they say? Oh, you're going to complain. You're going to complain. And this is the richest man in the world. The richest man in the fucking world. Telling you who maybe your electricity bills went up. It's a little colder this winter. The corporation CEO that's, you know, on a yacht somewhere in Ibiza is making tons. He's looking at a stock value of his publicly traded, which should be nationalized electric grid, thinking about how much money I could spend on another bottle of champagne. Well, you're just hoping not to freeze. And this guy is fucking telling you, well, money can't buy that happiness. Well, it sure can buy some warmth and food. And if you've never been warm and full, maybe you don't know what happiness is. Maybe your life is pointless. Maybe this guy should just, you know, disappear then. Because if you can't fucking be warm and full and be grateful and happy, then goddamn, you're a Karen. That's good. That's good stuff. Israel has free healthcare that Americans pay for. Thank you, V272. That's right. Make sure you pay your taxes this year so Israel can keep having free healthcare on you. Elon can't buy happiness and Trump can't buy class. Thank you, Stuffelson, for the $1.99 super chat. And that's funny because Trump really, he's like obsessed. If you read in the Epstein files where he's talking about the Rothschilds and his obsession with like the Kennedys, the Rothschilds. That's why he really has a thing for Obama, because Obama's just, you can't help it. He's a classy dude. He's just one of them dudes, you know? And that's true. Donald Trump, that's why he spray paints everything gold. He thinks that's like, you know, he went to Russia. He saw the fucking, what are those, shishbumba, or whatever they're called, those Russian towers, their buildings. I don't know what they're called. I don't give a shit. He saw those. He saw everything decorated in gold. And he's like, man, gold is classy. Oh, hold on one second. I'm gonna finish playing. Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm gonna finish give me 1 second.
If I can only find another way.
Oh, hold on.
If I can only find
I didn't mean to shut that off. Sorry. Amir's leaving. Amir, thanks for stopping by later. Good to meet you. Good to meet you. Good to converse with you. I hope you come back. I hope you hit subscribe, notification bell, and join us every weekday. Is it a weekday? Who knows? Weekdays are made up. The weekend was made up. Well, the weekend was made up by union workers fighting for that right to party. I believe that's what the Beastie Boys songs reference. Anyways, I could be wrong. Good to see you, Amir. Right, people have healthcare, food, assistance. Much more than 3 billionaires having more wealth than over half of our society. Thank you, Sunshine Euphoria. 100%. Oh, dog. Oh, dog. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Dog, go. Go lay down. Dog, get to your spot. Come on. Go chill. Don't you talk back to me. Huh? Don't you talk back to me. Sorry, just enjoying my dog. Oh, it looks like we got another moron in here. I apologize. You guys are going to see a lot of morons in the chat. Or not a lot, but, they sprinkle themselves throughout, and they're like, bragging about how stupid they are. And we just ignore them. Okay, Elon. Let's cover this. Wait, these aren't the only two. I was corrected. We didn't even, did we kind of dive into the certificate? So let me show this to you. This is released August 9th, right? For immediate release, August 9th, Friday. Early this morning, the Manhattan Corrections Center confirmed that Jeffy Eppy, who faced charges brought by the office engaging in the ring of minors, has been found unresponsive in his cell and pronounced shortly after. But here's the thing, folks. Notice the date. Because that's not when he shuffled loose this mortal coil. If he even did. By the way, can I just bring to your attention down here? Professions, Google puts financier, criminal, broker, investor. Can that be a profession? Really? Can it be? Oh, okay. So I don't know what the theories are. I know some people are saying he's back on the island, prepping it for Elon and Donald Trump when they're exiled. I know a lot of people are saying that he's in Israel. I know a lot of people are saying that, he isn't gone. He's doing some sort of preparation for when, like Steve Bannon said, they're all going to go to prison, and instead they're all going to get on their billionaire plane, the Lolita Express 2, and fly to meet him. They're not coming to get you guys, MAGAs, okay? I know you guys have been defending it. You're just hoping for a ticket, hoping for an aisle seat. You'll even take the back where it doesn't recline. But no, they're not coming to get you. It's a big club. You're not in it. Never met so many desperate people to be in the Epstein files. Like, see, Donald, me too, man. Me too. They probably have their own charges if you know anything about MAGA, especially the ones pardoned for J6. So we kind of covered that. Start your own theories, spread them amongst the world. That's what good Americans do now, I guess. I guess that's the only thing we really relish in is conspiracy theories. It's kind of sad. They had the flat earth They were like, the biggest group around the globe, flat earthers, not understanding the irony of that. We had, the Joe Rogan moonlanders. We have alien heads. On his website. No, not the man who has so many kids and isn't raising one of them. No, please not him. Anyways, Elon Musk will have to testify over his role in shuttering the U.S. Agency for International Development. A federal judge ruled Wednesday. Oh man, this is the interesting part down here. Musk many posts on X bragging about how Doge shut down USAID, ruling that Musk and the two officials likely have personal firsthand knowledge of the facts relevant and essential to the resolution of this case. The Justice Department, Donald Trump, tried to protect him, testifying that forcing him to testify would intrude on White House activities. And the judge, God bless this judge, was like, he's not a cabinet secretary or agency head. He's good. He's good to testify. So we'll see what happens. Maybe, this will be the one judge to bring us some justice. Please, dear God. Anyways, audio back, audio front, audio back. You fix the system or you say it works. That's what we're doing here, Ehrlich. We're fixing the system. We're waking people up to first how the system works, and then to the loose quote, when institutions, you can put systems in here, when systems fail, you don't reform them, you replace them. That's how we started this country. We said the monarchy doesn't work for us. And some of you red hats, do you see the parallel between red coats, red hats, red coats, red hats? Some of these people are still loyal to a crown or want a new crown, a nouveau crown, a neo crown. They want a neo crown, and they wear red hats to recognize their long lineage back to the traitors, the loyalists in revolutionary days. That's what the red hat is. It symbolizes that. And we need to wake people up to how the system is effed against you. And I just know this from firsthand talking to the few MAGAs that I do talk to. They're not the most educated bunch. They're just not. They're just not. Just statistically, they're just not. They hear stuff like winning and their ears perk up and they're like, I want to be that. I want to be the winning. I want to be the winning, It's a very simple thing. They think politics is team sports, not realizing they're on the wrong team. It's a class war, not a culture one. So you're okay with Elon Bezos paying no taxes. They are, because they don't care. They want all the taxes poured on them, and they say, Daddy Elon, you can go and just scamp around like a little lad around the world, and no taxes for you, buddy. They love it. They're also idiots, remember that. So release all the unredacted Trumpstein files. 100%. Oh, this guy's, it's like, that's the thing. It's like high functioning stupidity, it's high functioning stupidity. That's really what you see with MAGA. It's not like they're trying to make a point. They just want to distract and they just want to look over here and they don't want to address anything that anyone is ever talking about. And they would just like, they have their safe words like Biden, Kamala, it's really like, it's peak levels of high functioning stupidity. That's all you see, It's like they can go to work and press the buttons and get home and feed themselves. And then they listen to the news and hope that's enough for them to talk about later. There's not any thought. They don't understand why we fucking revolted against the king the first time. And they're just here to be obedient. I don't know how else to make it any simpler, I really don't. Anacle, Awesome. You join the Discord, so the link works. Amazing. We do have a Discord. V. Trailer shift ranting. The Socialist Collective has a majority of women who run. Anybody? Who the fuck said women are pansies? Who the fuck said that? Who said that? Peace, love, light. Speak with facts. If you've ever been on a paved road, you're a socialist. If you support the military, you're a socialist. We could just do this all day. You like getting your mail? Socialist. Our taxes support billionaires. Yeah, they're welfare queens. Who said women are pansies? I don't... number one, I'd like to find them so I could silence them. Because there's no misogyny here. I can't find it. But if you could mute them. Oh, you didn't? It didn't work? I'm so sorry. I gotta like keep updating it every day, almost. I gotta figure that out. Like having a fire department, you're a socialist. I love how someone's trying to go, that's not social, it's public service. What do you think fucking socialism is? Huh, a group redistributing their wealth for the greater good? Let me think. Oh my God, you people are fucking hilarious. Okay, listen, I gotta go do a couple things, but hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We got more to talk about. I've been going for 2 hours and we'll go later, okay? We will go later. I'm so sorry, I have to pause. I have loved ones, I do, I promise you. Not just animals. I have loved, and not just the people in the chat. Not just the Vanguard, my coalition, my family in the chat. I love you guys. Weeping Angel, good to see you, Dusty. V subscribed. Love you, V. You had a great comment earlier. Peace, love, and light. You can't have capitalism without socialism. You can't have a socialism without capitalism. You could absolutely have socialism without capitalism. If you're scared of socialism, you're scared of yourself. Go look up Fred Hampton. And everybody else, even the MAGA. Here's the difference. I really want to get you guys to understand. A Democrat is your controlled opposition, but a leftist even wants MAGA to have health care. I don't think your elderly parents, or I don't think your kids that are disabled, or I don't think your loved ones that maybe need a medicine should have to suffer and work harder to afford that. That's the difference between a leftist and everybody else. We believe in a greater good. We believe that you should not have to suffer in the richest country in the world or just work harder to make sure that you don't die. I would think that's a basic principle of humanity, but I've seen many, many people overlook it. Many people wearing a cross on their neck overlook that while shouting about how you're going to hell for something or other. Well, I would say just your actions, maybe dictate where you're going. But anyways, central left is right. Huh? Let the last words on my lips be, I am a revolutionary. Zen Ali. Fuck. Amen. Amen. And we end it with that because Fred Hampton is very, very important to me. And he was taken out by the government because he was leading a movement that could not be stopped. And as we saw in the Epstein files, they were like, we gave them, Pop Rocks and MTV, and these people are defanged. That's what they're saying about you. That's what rich people are saying behind your back. So while you're in the comments, the live chat trying to defend them, they're like, oh, look at these morons. We'll laugh all the way to Ibiza. Long live the revolution. You can a revolutionary, but you cannot a revolution. That's right. People who make $700 an hour telling people who make $25 an hour that people who make $7.25 an hour are the problem. And you know who's paying the people $700 an hour to tell those other people? They're making $6,000 an hour. It's as soon as you see through that matrix, you can't unsee it. Trump does love stupid people. God bless you, Ray Gun. Good to see you. Sunshine Euphoria. And everybody. All right. Hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Let's connect a little later tonight. We'll go over some more news because there's a ton of it. Plus, I didn't hear your Epstein conspiracies. Let's dive into that. Peace.